What's going on, guys? My name is Seapeekay and welcome back to the first MCC Season 2 predictions video. It's the first predictions we've had in like 6 months. It's been horrific. But the teams are currently being released on Twitter live as I'm making this video, so I thought I'd better get it prepped so this can come out right as the last team is announced. So if you're excited for this, make sure to leave a like, and I'm looking forward to seeing what your guys' predictions are in the comments. So make sure to leave your top 10 and how you think they're going to do in the comments below. But without further ado, let's not mess around, all right? Let's start with our first team. We got the Red Rabbits, all right? We got Vikkstar, we got Tommy in it, we got Tubbo, and we have Nearchew. Now, this is probably one of the best opening teams I think they've ever had. It's actually fully insane. Vic, obviously, very, very good Season 1 and coming to prove that he's going to be good in Season 2 as well. Tommy and Tubbo, the dynamic duo, if you will, have been doing really, really well in MCC. Tommy, I think people often think throws for content, which is debatable. He has tried very hard the time I played with him. And I know Tubbo always tries to do his best as well. Teaming up with Nikki, who's going to have great chemistry with Tommy and Tubbo, and I'm sure gets along with Vikkstar as well. I don't know their friendship. But this is a very, very strong team. Now, obviously, the question's going to arise is, are they going to be so focused on how funny the content is that they won't necessarily do as well? I don't know. I think it's a strong team. For now, I'm going to put it at number 4. And then I'm going to change this at the end. So don't go rushing the decision. Don't go screenshotting this and saying, Seapeekay said Red Rabbits will come forth. I don't know, all right? This is just my opinion. I think Vic is going to come back and be very strong. But I do think he's going to be out of practice with these kinds of games. And I'm not sure if his own knowledge just of being good at Minecraft is going to be enough to carry him into the top 10 again. I think he had top 10 quite easily in the first MCCs that he was in, but I do think it's gotten a lot more competitive since Vikkstar stopped playing, so I do think it'll be harder for him to do as well as he did previously, but I could be proved wrong. I'm just trying to give a fair reasoning to this here, so I think Vic's going to do really well. I think maybe top 15, but top 10, I think is going to be a big push. I really do. The next team we have is the Orange Ocelots, which consists of Quig, Shubble, Eret, and Karakorvus. Now, we all know that Quig is a beast. Quig always does super well. For me, it's probably between Pete and Quig for best person in the entire event. I think they definitely need to be... I think a lot of people think Pete. I think straight to Quig. I think Quig is very diverse in his skill set. I think he's incredibly good at most of the games in MCC and never fails to do well. And being teamed up with a bunch of other MCC veterans, Shubble, Eret, and Karakorvus, I can see this team doing really well. I think that Quig will really hold it down in the PvP-based minigames. I think Quig is always a threat, with Shubble also being really good with a bow. And I think it's a good all-round team for things like Build Mart. Now, obviously, we don't know the games that we're getting yet. There's only 8 games, and we don't know what's going to be there. So I'm preliminarily putting this team at 6th place, because I think this is going to be one of the hardest events I've ever had to place teams in. So many of the teams are unbelievably good. They are so sick. So this is going to be a tough one to place people. It really is. And obviously, I mean no offense with these placements. They're just for fun. So I'm just going to try and guess where I think the people are going to finish, and let's see if I'm right. The third team we have is the Yellow Yaks. We got Kratzy. We got DanTDM. We got SB, and we got Sylvie. Now, I don't remember exactly when the last time Sylvie played was, but I think it was a while ago. So I know that SB is probably the biggest grinder of MCC outside of myself. I grind the MCC practice server all the time, mostly just because it's fun, not because I actually think I'm getting any better. But I know that SB also loves to grind and learn, so I think SB is going to be a phenomenal player in this event. I really do. And we're going to have Kratzy and DanTDM bringing back some of the chemistry that they had from the previous MCC. This is now the second MCC in a row where they have teamed together. Overall, it's a good all-round team. I do think it's going to be a really strong one. Right now, preliminarily, I'm going to put them at 5. Again, this might change a little as I go through. Who knows? Who really knows? Next up, we got the Lime Llamas, Fruitberries, False Symmetry, Rendog, and Cubfan. Now, this team, I think to an extent, some people slept on previously. It's not the exact same team, but it's a lot of... it's a very similar team to the Blue-Black Bats, the Black-Blue Bats, the Bats team that some of these players were on. Fruitberries, of course, always unbelievably powerful when he's in MCC. False, Ren, and Cubfan are going to bring absolutely fantastic chemistry and are not shabby themselves. I think this is a really, really strong team. For me, teamwork based, etc. Right now, I'm going to sit them in third. I don't know if I'll move them away from this. I think that this is where I might actually leave them. I think this is a really strong team. I don't think people on this team choke much. I think they're very consistent. They're level-headed, and I do believe that this is going to be a strong team. I think this team could quite easily win the event. The teams are crazy, but this is a really strong one, and I would look forward to watching the VOD of these guys back. The fifth and final team that was announced on day one is the Green Guardians, which is Dream, Captain Sparkles, George Not Found, and Quackity. That's right. I know the meme is here that we should put them in third place, but this is a phenomenal team for Dream. I think this is going to be very strong. This has to be Captain Sparkles, like one of his best chances of winning the event ever. I guess if this one can't do it, maybe he truly is cursed. You know, we've got a bunch of veterans of MCC. Quackity seems to have been doing quite a lot of training on the MCC practice server as well, and I am sure that Dream is going to be sort of boot camping them to an extent, not forcing them to practice, but I do think that Dream's going to really help to improve Quackity's abilities quickly. So I think super strong team. Right now, I'm going to put them at number 2. Again, they could easily end up my number 1s, or in true meme fashion, they could get number 3. I think that would be the best, honestly. But really, really strong team. Again, the problem is I can't talk about the games because we don't know what games we have. That's the hardest part of all this. So, you know, I mean, they're going to be good at Ace Race. I think that's a confirmed game. I think we're going to get to the other side. They're also going to be good at that, but that's a really RNG game. The best teams can just lose randomly. I just think it's a really strong team overall, and I think historically Dream does practice and train with his team quite frequently, and I just think that they're going to edge out the other teams that we've seen so far ever so slightly. But also, I know the next 5 teams, and there's no way they're going to come 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, so I don't know how I'm going to do this. The 6th team is the Scion Creepers. Tapple, Captain Puffy, Skeppy, and BBH. Now, this one's very, very interesting for me because people are obviously going to be very excited that Skeppy and BBH are back for MCC. I believe it was MCC 2 they were supposed to be a part of, and I think Skeppy slept through it, and BBH didn't want to do it without Skeppy, because it was like they were friends. I don't know the full story, but I think it's something on those lines. I actually don't have any idea how well Captain Puffy does in MCC, I'll be honest. But I know that Tapple is an absolute beast. Now, the reason I'm going to put this team a little lower is purely just down to experience in the event. So I'm going to put these guys at 8th right now. That is a disgustingly low placement for Tapple. I actually feel so bad. I love Tapple so much. But from looking at this, I think that Tapple is going to be the strongest. And if these guys can pick up the games quick enough, this could be a really, really strong team as well. The point of this is that anyone really can win in MCC. That's the beauty of it, right? So, you know, you got to take these with a pinch of salt. I've had a bit of stick in the past for doing these, but I just think they're very fun, and I would like to continue doing them. So let's move on to the next team. Team number 7. It's the Axolotls. H-Bomb 94, S Major, Wisp, and Solidarity. Now, this team, again, is crazy. It's so strong. I think it's especially strong at the team-based games, things like Build Battle. I think it'll be a good parkour tag team. I think they're going to be very organized. There's no weak player on this team at all. Like, none. It's so powerful. H-Bomb, obviously, really well known, and I think probably the next person in contention for S tier, always spoke about on the MCC Reddit. Scott always does consistently well. I think me and Scott are very similar, with Scott outplacing me a few times. Wisp did incredibly well in the previous MCC, and Solidarity always consistent. Very strange to not see him within the Littlewood, though. Very, very strange. A lot of the duos are broken up this time. Smager not with Shovel, Solidarity not with in the Littlewood. It's all popping off, all right? It's all popping off. But right now, preliminarily, I'm going to put these guys in at 7th. They're not going to stay there. There's no way this team finishes 7th. But we got to get all the teams on the board first. Next up, maybe the most Chad team in the entire event, the Blue Bats. It's Sapnap, Puns, Seapeekay, and Catherine Elizabeth. That's right. It finally happened. I wanted to team with Puns for so long. I wanted to team with Sapnap for so long. And I get both at once. I think this is a borderline OP team, I'll be honest. Also, just to clarify here, I've teamed with Catherine before, so I couldn't say I wanted to team with them for the first time. Catherine's absolutely great. I think we are one of the stronger teams, which is why I'm going to place us at first place, because, you know, I genuinely believe that we have a good chance to win. I think that we would be very good at PvP-based games, and I do think that games where we'll struggle are things like Build Mart, but I think if Catherine kind of takes the lead and guides us to victory on those team-based games that aren't about PvP, I think we have a real shot at coming top 2, top 3. I really do. I would love for this team to get to Dodgeball. I think this is one of my best chances at Dodgeball in a long time. And I'm super, super excited for this team. I'm putting myself at number 1, not only because I believe my team can win every single time I play this event, but I genuinely believe we have a good chance at first or second. I really do. Next up, we have the Purple Pandas, which is Pizza Hut, Grian in the Littlewood, and Ollie the Orion Sound. I like that it's actually written like that too. Again, they're all strong teams. Everyone in this is a strong team. Pete is the best player in this event. Consistency based, points based, everything based. Pete is the best player in this event. Grian, known as Dream Slayer, in the Littlewood, always consistently good. And Ollie's kind of been in and out of MCCs, but I think with a good team around him, he could really do well in this event. Now, I can't put Pete in 9th, but for now, to fill out the board, I'm going to have to put Pete in 9th. It seems crazy. I think this is going to be a really good team. Also, in the Littlewood just absolutely destroyed me in Minecraft Twitch Rivals, right? So I'm a little shook by in the Littlewood right now. He came out with the PvP skills and really took my breath away. So again, I'm going to rearrange these. I'm going to have to. So this is how they're going to be at first, and then I'll probably just cut to when I've organized it a little more. And the final team is the Pink Parrots. It's Filza, Fundy, Wilbur, and Jack Manifold. And obviously, they're not going to finish 10th. I say obviously, someone's got to finish 10th. Filza, Fundy, Wilbur, and Jack Manifold. Jack Manifold making his MCC debut alongside his good friends, Wilbur, Fundy, and Filza. Filza and Wilbur being veterans of this event, and Fundy also playing in quite a lot of them as well. I think it's a really strong team, but I think it's a similar job to the first team. They could be more of a content-based team. You know, I think depending on whether or not they practice, I have no idea if they would even consider doing that, or whether they're not as bothered. I think this is a decent team that could either do really well if they tried, or they could end up just having fun and not doing quite so well. From what I understand, Jack's pretty competent at Minecraft. I don't know how he would do in MCC, but I think he's probably going to be all right. I think he'll fit in quite well. And now I've got to try and organize these into what I believe is the true order, which is going to be absolutely horrific. So I'll bring you guys back as soon as I've worked out what I truly believe is my top 10. All right, I got to be honest, this was so unbelievably difficult. I really don't know who's going to win this, who's going to come last. I have no clue. I really feel like every team could place 3 places above and 3 places below where I've placed them. But this is what I ended on, and I'm sure people from these teams are going to call me out. This is all for fun. I hope I'm proved wrong, except for the part where I win. That part I want to be correct. But I ended up with blue, aqua, lime, green, red, yellow, orange, purple, pink, cyan. I had to put cyan down there just from having 2 new players to the event. I think it's the only team with 2 new players. It just made it was the only logical way I could work it out. I don't think they'll actually come 10th. I have no clue who's going to come 10th. It doesn't matter. I just want to know. I can't wait to see this event. I think this event is going to pop off. It really is. And I'm super, super excited to be involved. So let me know what you think of my predictions. Are they absolutely terrible, or do you agree with some of them? I don't know. It's hard to place people, you know. The worst thing is I'm friends with all these people, so I'm just trying to put them into an order that I think is right, but I could just be completely wrong. So thank you all so much for watching. I've been Seapeekay, and I'll see you guys with more MCC content. Going to be churning out very regularly now, because that's it. We're good to go. Hey, we're back, baby. We're back.